If there's something you're not understanding, I want you to tell me. Okay? Mazita? Are you together? Right. Look at what we know. Sometimes I'll come and I tell you that maths is 9 topics, which is true. Sometimes I'll come and I tell you that maths is 4 sections, which is true, because the 9 topics are in 4 sections. So that's what I want to use today to remind you. IGCSE maths, we know that it's 4 sections. Nowadays, I love this. Okay? Just like, just like in bio, when I always show you the syllabus to show you the 21 topics, and then I show you that you are doing chapter 19, this is where you are. It's the same for maths. Okay? It's the same for maths. I'll do the same, remind you for chem. Okay? It's the same. Here is our maths. Okay? Because we want to get rid of all the weaknesses. So we know that, listen, so that you understand what I want to focus. I'm looking at a past paper with you. I'm going to look at past paper questions with you guys, but I want you to remember the structure. You are not letting me down, students. Please do not let me down. You are not letting me down, guys. Please. Maths is 4 sections. I'm telling you right now. For you to say you are done with maths, it's 4 sections. I'll take you back to the syllabus to show you this, okay? This is not from my head. This is from your syllabus. It's from exactly from your syllabus. We know that the first unit is number, and it has a lot of topics in it. This unit. There's a lot of things in it, right? They talk about ratio and proportion. Big things that you meet in here are interest. You need to be able to solve interest questions. Time calculations. Bounds. Sets. What is another big topic we meet in here? Percentages. What is another big thing you meet in here that is very tricky that you must know? I mean, ratio and proportion is just one. I mean, let me think of another big one. What is another big thing you meet in this? That always comes. Pardon? Say it again. I can't hear. Functions are in algebra here. Functions in algebra. Functions are in algebra. Let's think of something like, do you remember the things I did with you at the beginning? More of like at the beginning of the year. We did interest, we did bounds. I'll revise them with you in using past papers, but try to think. What was the other thing? Time, bounds, sets, percentages. Laws of indices. Okay. Then bid mass. Very important thing here. These things are from topic 1 or unit 1. Unit 2 is the big one, which is algebra. This is the second, this is the big one. In here you find subject of the formula. The question comes in the exam. You need to be able to do it. It's a must. Then there is expansion and factorization. Look closely, because this is where we are focusing. I want to finish this. Look closely. Expansion and factorization. Then you have equations. Then you have graphs. Then you have, equations and inequalities. Then you have graphs. And when you do graphs, you use equations and inequalities. Equations to sketch the graph, inequalities to shade the region. So you meet graphs. Then you're going to have differentiation. Okay. Then you are going to have linear algebra. Okay. In linear algebra, this is where you do midpoint, length of a line, blah, blah, blah. Then you do completing the square. Completing the square. Then you do functions. Then you do, think of another one. Think of another one. We have functions, etc., etc., right? I mean, it doesn't finish. Nth term. You have variation. You know, direct and inverse variation. You have similarity. These things we've been doing, right? So this makes your algebra. Now, let me say this. What we are doing today is what I want to call the algebra question of paper 4. Are we together, guys? Right. Listen. Okay. There is in every single paper 4, there is what we call the algebra question. So, the algebra question of paper 4. The algebra question of paper 4. Now, when you go scroll into your paper 4, you are going to meet a question. This question, of course, functions are going to be there. Okay, functions are always there. We don't worry about them. Functions are always there. I mean, nth term, variation, similarity, we expect them somewhere at the top there, right? Functions are at the bottom. But there's going to be a question which sometimes it is equations and it is asking you about simultaneous equations, which I want you to know how to solve. We're going to talk about them. So sometimes it's equations, it could be simultaneous equations, right? Sometimes it's differentiation. Sometimes it's completing the square. Sometimes it's about midpoint and length of a line and things like that. Do you understand me? I am saying when you get into any paper 4, you scroll and scroll and scroll. Somewhere you're going to make a big mark question, 3 to 5 marks, sometimes 5 marks, sometimes 4 marks, sometimes 3, which is going to be asking you either about differentiation or about linear algebra, which is the midpoint, length of a line, whatever, or it will ask you to complete the square where it says express in this form, or it will ask you to solve simultaneous equations. That question is always there. We're going to see it as we go through many paper 5s and find out if it's true or not. Are we together? So, let me make sure you've heard me, because maybe you haven't. What question are we doing? The what question of paper 4? The algebra question of paper 4, which is either equations, okay, which is either on simultaneous equations, or differentiation, or linear algebra, or completing the square. Are we together? And I want you guys to always get it. So let's go into this one. This is February, March. This is February, March 2025. Blah, 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 blah. Statistics, this, that. Transformations, this, that. Interest, this, that. I want you to keep going. Nth term functions, we expect these things all the time. Mean, histogram, we expect it all the time. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, blah, blah. Bearing, we expect it will get there. Okay, so there's a bit of factorization and stuff. We expect it. But that's not the question I'm talking about. Here it is. You are going to meet this guy. So you would have scrolled. Somewhere as you keep going, you meet him. In this case, it's 6 marks. So it will be different. It's not always where this intersects this. It could be differentiation they are asking here. Or it could be something to do with completing the square, or it could be something. Do you hear me? This is the algebra question. Can you see it? So we want to go paper by paper and solve this algebra question, which is always going to come. Okay? We want to do the different versions of this algebra question, and we'll be just solving it. This one I did with you last time. Let me give you, and I'm going to give you from a different year, a different paper, a question which is exactly like the one we would have done. So we are going to follow chronological order, but then when I do a certain type of question, I'm going to find it from a different paper 4, give it to you guys, and you're going to solve. Are we together on that one? Students, are we together? Okay. I hope you're all together. This question will come, everyone, the algebra question. In here, it wanted to find where they intersect. In another one, it's going to be simultaneous equations. In another one. So I've given you the background. Now I'm starting to solve, and I'll be moving as fast as I can. This year, they brought a line and a curve intersecting. When they intersect, you just make them equal to each other. You solve the quadratic equation. Then you find the points. You're done. So the line is this one. You write it. Y is equal to 4x plus 12. The curve is this one. Y is equal to 2x squared minus x minus 3. The moment you see them say they intersect, it means we make the y's equal to each other. So if one of the equation was not given in terms of y, you have to put it in terms of y. Both equations must be y equal to something, y equal to some. Both of them. The equation of the line and the equation of the curve. Then you make them equal to each other. So you're going to say, let this first y, what is it? 4x plus 12 be equal to the second y, which is 2x squared minus x minus 3. You make it like that. Then, once you write it like this, you've made them equal to each other. You're going to see that you have an x squared. That's the highest power. Once you see yourself having the power of x of squared, that means it's quadratic. And the only way to solve something which is quadratic is to make sure the other side is 0. I'm not talking to myself. You have made them equal to each other. I don't care what they look like. You see a power of 2 as your highest power. The only way you're going to get an answer there is make one of the sides have 0, which means have nothing. So we are going to take all this stuff to this other side so that we remain with 0. Then here we have 2x squared, and we have minus x, and we have another thing of x, which is 4x. It becomes minus 4x. Remember, when it's coming, its sign is changing. Here it's a positive 4x. When it goes to the other side, it should become a negative 4x. Then we say minus 3. Then we have a plus 12 here. When it comes, it becomes a minus 12. So what we actually have now is 0 is equal to 2x squared. Then you have minus x minus 4x. When you are simplifying, this is so easy. You use a calculator if you know you're not good at negative numbers, because they will cost you. Trust me, they will cost you. You have a negative x, which is a negative 1x. Then you have a negative 4x. So I have a 1 and I have a 4. And both of them are negative. So in the calculator, I'll punch minus 1, minus 4. Because both of them are the ones for x. So you say minus 1, minus 4, you get minus 5. Of what? Of x. Minus 3, minus 12. You put in the calculator exactly as it is. You get negative 15. Don't fight with negative numbers. They will cost you. They won't fight with you. Now you can rewrite it because you already have it equal to 0. You can rewrite it to say 2x squared minus 5x minus 15 is equal to 0. Right. Now you have a job, which is to find solutions. Now, I've always taught you that when you are solving a quadratic equation, you have the quadratic formula, which you'll be given, by the way. Then you have factorization. If you see them, I know it was not you, it was the Form 3s. If you see them talk about decimal places and you have a quadratic equation, that means you use the quadratic formula. Listen, I'm going to take you through that series of quadratics. It's going to become harder at A level for those who want to do it. Listen, if you have an x to the power of 2 class, either you're going to use the quadratic formula. Quadratic formula is going to be given in the exam at the top. Or you're going to use factorization where you put the t. Here, once you see them talk about decimal places, then quickly come and take this one. So I know it in my head. I'm going to write it for you. If you don't know, you just come and take this formula. So it's going to be given to you so you don't have to. It is used when you are solving equations that have an x squared. So here what you do now, listen to what you do. You need to tell us who is the number before x squared, who is the number before x, and who is the number that is alone. The number before x squared is 2. That is your a. So you say a is 2. Then this one before x is your b. So b is -5. Okay, you take it with its sign. C is the last number which stands alone. It's a -15. So now you are going to write, you know the quadratic formula says x is equal to minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So you've copied it. You can go and copy your quadratic equation. Now, when you are using it, before you use it, you're going to find, listen, here it's just about using the quadratic formula. It's nothing. You're going to find this guy that will be inside here. This b squared minus 4ac. You start with him. I don't want to see anything else. You say b squared minus 4ac. This guy who goes into the square root, you always start with him. What is your b? -5 squared. Minus, then you open a big bracket. Do this. I don't want to see anything else. 4 times a, okay, because it's 4ac. So you put your minus when you're actually now punting the numbers. You put your minus, you put a big bracket, you put the 4, you put the a and the c. What is the a? 2. What is the c? -15. It is all in a bracket. So it is -5 in a bracket, all squared becomes +25. Minus, then we put this big square bracket, 4 by 2 by -15. It's negative what? -120? -120. Because it's 4, even if you say 2 times -15, you get -30. -30. See, this is a paper for you. Have your calculator by 4. Remember, punch with this negative as well, or else you cost yourself. And there's another one which is outside. It's a completely different one. So now you have 25 minus 120. It becomes 25 plus 120, which becomes 145. So b squared minus 4ac is 145. That's the guy that is going inside the square root. So now you're going to say, you rewrite to say x is equal to minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay, you rewrite the quadratic formula. Now you can put the things. You say x will be equal to minus of b. What is b? B is a -5 itself. So minus of b, it's minus of -5. Then you put plus. Be careful on negative signs. You don't write what you want, you write what you are given. Plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac. We just found it. That is why we find it first. So it's easy. It is 145. And it's all over 2a, which is 2 times the a is 2 as well. So it becomes negative of -5 is a 5. Plus or minus the square root of 145 all over 4. This is your x. So now you can put your x to say x is equal to 5 plus root 145 over 4. Then you have x is equal to 5 minus root 145 all over 4. What do you get? Okay. The things that are on top, put them in a bracket. To those who are punching. Punch quick, people. I want a punching team. Team that will be punching. Very well. Put open bracket 5 plus root 145 close divided by 4. What do you get here? And then someone do the second one. 4.276. Then what about on the other one? open bracket, 5 minus root 145, close bracket, then divided by 4. 1.76. Is it exactly negative 1.76 or it's negative 1 point something something? Okay, 760. All right. So anyway, well done. So we already have the x values. They say to how many decimal places? To 2 decimal places. So two numbers after the comma. So this becomes 4.28 because it's 276. Then this becomes negative 1.76. Now we need to find the y values, which is so easy. You just bring the original. Look at how easy it is. 6 marks for this. Y is 4x plus 12. So you write y is equal to 4x plus 12. You say let x be the first one here. Okay, you take the easier one of the two. There's 4x plus 12. Both of them work, but you take this one. So you say let x be equal to 4.276. You now have y is equal to 4 multiplying 4.276, because where there is x, we are now putting 4.276. Then you say plus 12. What do you get your y is? Here you already have also y is 4x plus 12. Then you say let x be equal to negative 1.76. You now say y is equal to 4 by negative 1.76 plus 12. What is the answer? Put it exactly like this. Plus 12, then here, plus 12. Let's be fast. Let's be fast, students. What is the solution on this one? $29.104. So 29.10. Then on the other one, 4 by negative 1.76 plus 12. $4.96. Okay, I'll call people's names randomly to also calculate. Anyway, this is the probability, this is the algebra question and the exam finished. Let's look at the next paper and see what was the algebra question in the other one. Whatever algebra question we do, I'll give you to do as well. You need to do it tonight. You should look closely because I want my assignment. May, June. Let's look for the algebra question. Right, guys? Towards the end there, right? We're looking for the algebra question in this paper. Towards the end, we want to see which one. What did they ask? Okay, this could be the one, completing the square. We'll come back to it. Let's see if there's another one. No. So it was this one. The others are trig and whatever. The algebra question is this one. This is the algebra. The other ones are trig and these are the things to do with triangles and whatever. So you must be able to quickly identify the algebra question. It's this one. Right. The one that I'm talking about. Now, let's do this. Completing the square. What we know is that, raise your hand, students, if you're not there when I did completing the square. Raise your hand. Raise your hand if you were not there when we did completing the square. How to express numbers in this form. Raise if you're not there. So I see. Oh my days. Oh. Okay. Right. You can lower them. So let me explain. Let me explain. This is an entire process. I'll do more questions on it. But I'll give you ones related to the one I'm about to do right now. So I'm just going to focus on this one that I'm doing right now. Then I'll give you the others. Listen, when you're asked to write in this form, they are asking you to complete the square. So what you're going to do, you're going to write what they gave you. 2x squared plus 12x, okay, plus 12x minus 2. Now, here is the rule. You don't complete the square if you have a number before x squared. So as long as we have a number in front of x squared, we cannot complete the square. So, listen. I said, I have not started completing the square. I'll teach you completing the square. But before we start, we need to make sure that there is no number here. The number what that's there should be 1. There should be a 1 only. So if we have only a 1, then we can start. But if we have another number which is not a 1, hey, you gotta remove that number. So there is a 2. So that means we have to remove it. So we bring out a 2. 2 comes out. What do you remain with here on x squared? You just remain with the x squared. Plus, you remove 2 from 12. It's like you say 12 divided by 2. You remain with 6. 6 of what? Of x. You don't do it to the last one. The last one, you leave it out of the bracket, okay? To make working easy. Do you understand? But we have removed 2 from these ones. That's why we put them inside the bracket. Excuse me. We haven't changed anything. We just removed the 2. So we factored it out. Why did you remove it? Because the x squared should be alone for us to then start completing the square. Did you understand? For everybody who hasn't done completing the square, did you hear this rule? What rule did Mr. Clarify just give you that will protect you? Tell me. Mazita, what did I just say? Mazi, can you complete the square when there is a number in front of x squared? Can you start or you can't start? Mazi? Akiana, can you start completing the square when your x squared has a number? This squared. Can you start or you cannot start? What's the rule I just gave you? Laura, tell us. Laura. Who's going to tell me? Why are you quiet? I said, Tobo, tell me, Hope, can you complete the square when your x squared has a coefficient? Like when your x squared has a number like here, the 2. Can we start? No. That is why we removed it. This is not completing the square, guys. We haven't started. What we are doing here is not completing the square. I'll tell you what's completing the square. This is not it. What we are doing, we are removing an enemy of progress. It's this 2. The people who gave you this question, they knew that you were going to have to remove this 2. That's why they put this A out there. Because they knew you were going to have to remove 2 to put it in this form. where there is a squared. So anytime you see them say express in this form, that means they want you to complete the square. But rule number 1 is make sure coefficient, which is the number in front of coefficient of x squared. That means the number in front of x squared is 1. I don't want to see that 2 or a 4 or a 3 or whatever number they give you. I do not want to see it. If I see you keeping it there, I will be heartbroken because I don't know what rule you're using. I told you, don't you dare do that. Remove it first. We removed the 2 coming from here to here. All we were doing was removing the enemy of progress. Because as long as what we are doing is completing the square, then we don't want to see him. He's a problem. So we remove him. And when we remove him between here in the first 2 terms. So now we have something like this. This is now something that we can complete the square. Period. I'm telling you. Now you can. But say there's a bracket. So what? The bracket doesn't change it? We never said we don't want a bracket. What we don't want is a number that is not 1 in front of x squared. That's a problem. That's a no. If you do it, then you are putting your feet on fire. Come on. Don't do that. Now listen. You now start completing the square. Here is what completing the square is. Now listen. We are now starting. So here we hadn't started. We are starting now. When you are completing the square, you should first find what we call the special number. Completing the square is all about finding what we call the special number. So that is the very first step. You first look to say, can I start completing the square? If you can't start, you have to fix like this. Now you can start. So the first step of completing the square, now we are starting, is you make the special number. Say the first step of completing the square is to make the special number. How do you make it? You take the number in front of x. So what is the number in front of x? It is 6. You divide it by 2. So make the special term. That's the first step now. Make the special term. How do you make the special term in this case? You do it with your pencil, by the way. You take the number in front of x. In front of x, here it's 6. You divide it by 2, then you square it. This is the guy that will help us. Without him, we are not doing anything. Special term, how do we make you? We take the number in front of x, we divide it by 2, and square. If you can simplify, you simplify. If you can't simplify, you leave it like that. You leave it as a fraction. Let's say if it was a 3 over 2, there's nothing to simplify there. 3 over 2, you don't get a whole number. But 6 over 2, you get a whole number, so you can simplify. It becomes 3 squared. And you don't square it, you leave it as 3 squared. This is now our special term. So now we have our special term. So what is step number 1 in completing the square? Make the special term. I'm saying this because you will keep it forever. Forever and ever. Special term, you get it by dividing by 2 then square. So you divide by 2 then square. Now we have this special term. Yes! We have the special term. Oh, look at the iPad. It has stopped sharing. Let me fix that. Sorry for that. You're going to say, yes, I have the special term. So now what you do with the special term is easy. You just add it, then you subtract it at the end. Okay, because we don't want to change anything. We are just changing the format. So if you add something, you must make sure you remove it. So let's add it and subtract it. Let's do it. So you now write 2 Then you say x squared. Then now what you're going to do, you add, then you subtract that special term. Are we together? X squared. Then you are going to say plus 6x. Okay, after the plus 6x, now here, we add here. So let's add it, okay? What do we add? 3 squared. Then we go outside the bracket. What did we have? Minus 2. Now we need to subtract what we added. We added 3 squared. We need to subtract it. But be careful when you're subtracting, because here you were forced to add inside the bracket. Yeah, 2. Because these guys were inside the bracket. So when you're subtracting, you have to be fair. You have to subtract also inside the bracket of 2. So you say 2, then 3 squared here inside the bracket. That's how you subtract. Because when you added, it was inside the bracket. When you subtract, it will be inside the bracket. So now you simplify. You're done. You added and you subtracted the special thing. But when you were adding, and do you see how easy this is? It's actually just 3 steps or 4 steps. When you were adding, you added the 3 squared inside bracket you had to, inside the bracket of 2. So when you subtract it also inside bracket of 2. To be fair. But you subtract it after this number here. So now what you just do, you simplify. You put the 2, it goes nowhere. Then here is how you simplify. Listen to how you simplify. I don't want your version of simplifying. Listen to how you do it. You take the guys that have squared only here, these two. The x squared and the 3 squared. Those are the only ones we want. But here's how you do it. You take the x, then you take the 3, then you put their squared outside. Okay, you take the guys that have squared, you put their squared outside. Then now you simplify these ones. It's minus 2, then minus of 3 squared is 9 times 2, that's 18. So minus of 18, which becomes 2 multiplying x plus 3 all squared minus 20. Okay, be careful. Minus 2 minus 18 is minus 20. Punch if you're not sure. Now you're done. You know what your a is. It's the number in front here. Okay, because they say the a is like this, then the b is what is here, then the c is here. So what is our a? Our a is 2. Okay, so you're going to say a is the number in front, which is 2. Then b is the number which is adding, which is 3. Then, okay. Then here they say c is the number which is subtracting, which the number is subtracting is 20. So you can say it is 2, 3, 20. You get your 3 marks. 2, 3, 20. You get your 3 marks. Have you seen it? Have you seen it? Those who didn't know. So, sir, we will need more examples on completing the square. I'll do it for you tonight and send it, and send the link in the morning. And those who are serious and hungry, you watch it, okay? It will be just small clips. Me doing questions. Different versions. Okay, I'm just going to be doing different versions of this. But when you're completing the square, okay? Remember, if they dare you, they try to trick you, they give you a number in front of x squared, we don't want it. It's illegal to try and complete the square. So you remove that number. Then you start completing the square after you've removed it like this. How do you complete the square? Special term. So completing the square depends on the special term. We just add and subtract it. Then we simplify. So completing the square, people may struggle because they don't remember that special term is what is needed. So when I see a person struggling, either they are refusing to remove a number in front of x squared. Okay, you may have somebody who doesn't want to do it. You saw me do it. I removed it so that it's gone. Then you don't do it. Why not? Why are you not doing it? Remove it. Maybe the person doesn't want to remove it. Or maybe the person doesn't want to start by finding the special term. They want their own method in their own head. But I've told you, find special term. I know why I'm doing this. If I force the steps into you, you are going to remember it after 5 months. Completing the square is about the special term. If you don't have it, then I don't know what you want to do. Maybe you want to solve it. I don't know what you'll be trying to do. As long as it's completing the square, then you add and subtract the special term. So find it. The number in front of x is the one I need to use to find the special. Well done. I'll clap hands for you. Come on. You are good because you remember what's important. Special term is found by you go to the number in front of x after removing the guy in front of x squared, right? You go to the number in front of x. Here it was 6. You divide it by 2, then square it. That thing, you add it, and you subtract that thing. So the answer you got, this 3 squared, we add it. In here, we had to add it inside the bracket, and we subtract it. We had to subtract it outside. Now, when you add and subtract it, the next step will be now, in the next step, you only take guys that have squared, which is the x, but you don't put their squares, okay? You put their squared outside. You take the guys that have squared, the x and the 3, then you put their squared outside. These 2 will not go anywhere. It will stay there. Then here you simplify here. You have to simplify. Minus 2, then here minus 18, get minus 20, stuff like that. That is how it goes. I hope people have heard me. If people have heard me, then they'll master it. They'll butcher it. So now I have one job. Since I've taught already, okay? The teaching part is done. Now I have one job, which is to put the questions together and put on Google Classroom. Then there's nothing else I can do. The job will now be yours to do the questions. It's not always Mr. Clarify, Mr. Clarify, Mr. Clarify. It's now your turn. Laura, it's now your turn. I've showed you how to do that other question. I've showed you how to do this one. I'm going to give you questions related to these two. Now it's on you now as the student. 75% of the work when it comes to passing an exam is done by the student. I'm the closest thing to spoon feeding. It's almost like I'm spoon feeding, but I'm not spoon feeding. I am training you. You people are very good because you understand maths. This is not spoon feeding. I'm not just cramming, making you cram answers. I'm giving you steps. And you know that this is algebra, which is section 2. You know what you are doing. You are not just eating, cramming. You are understanding what's going on. So now you have to practice. So you remove errors from you. You practice, you go back to my video, you check the steps that I told you, you apply them, you get the marks, you move on. It's your turn, students. I'm giving you the questions. It's now your part. The work is not done. You don't go and now sleep. You now go and you use your hand to move it on a piece of paper. That's called practice. And then you submit my work neatly, and then I will mark. Have we agreed? Are we in agreement? Are we in agreement? So now I'm giving you the questions. Practice. Mr. Clarify does not bite students. If you're stuck, ask me. Okay? So there is a part in the steps which I'm not mastering. Then I'll ask you which part. So step 1, do we do this? Yes. Step 2, do we do this? Yes. So there's a part which I'm stuck. Which one? Then I fix you. Then you can do it. So you have to try the steps. Try the steps. If you see yourself getting stuck, you should get stuck whilst you are trying the steps. Don't get stuck before you even start. It means you don't do the steps. Try the steps. Step 1, he said, I should remove this. I'll give you exactly like this one. The completing the square questions I'm giving you are exactly like this one. I won't give you different ones that we haven't done. I'm not unfair. I'm fair. So I will not be unfair. I'll give you the one which you have done, just like the other one. I'll give you exactly the ones which we have done. Now you have to practice. Okay. And I've reduced the number of questions. I know that you also have work from school. So I'll give you like 3 questions or 4 questions, just so that you refresh. Then it'll be the end. All right, everybody. Goodbye. Be dismissed. We have to meet tomorrow, same time. I'll send you the questions. You try them. You submit. I'm giving you the Google Classroom link again to submit the notes from physics. I just need to make sure you are writing the notes because you will need them when you are brushing up alone, and I'm not there. So I'm putting the link for physics. Submit the notes. I'll mark and put your marks tonight. And then I'm putting the maths assignment that you are supposed to do. 2 questions for that other type. 2 questions on this, completing the square. Then you're done. It's not a lot, right? All right. Let me make sure. Let me just take the register one more time. And you are dismissed. Give me 1 second. Don't go without it. You need it. Right.